So hey everybody, and we are going to make some fun little, and I think I'm pronouncing it right, hyacinth, I think I've got that right, flowers. And these are all using the Rinea foil, as you can see right here. Really pretty stuff, including the base and the whole thing. I mean, the whole thing is using the foil. Today we're going to do a couple of different colors. We're going to do a gold, and we're going to do this other pink color that you can see right here. And I'm also going to show you how to roll the stem. So the paper comes, and this is one of the examples of the papers. I'm going to show you a full sheet in a second. This is the green, and on the back side of the green there is the gold, hence why you see the little bits of gold right here, which I think are kind of fun. All the ones that are embossed, so this is what I would call the embossed paper. And as you can see, it's got all the beautiful stars on it. It's the same color both sides. For the colors, for instance, for this pink, on the other side is gold. That's why on this purple one, you can see little bits of gold shining through on the purple, which is really pretty. But all the embossed are the same color both sides. So what do you need to get ready for this? So I'm going to show, I went through and I did a few so I can get my practice down. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to roll the stems. Pretty simple. What I've done is I've taken a full sheet. Let me show you what the full sheets look like. This is the largest size that we offer in terms of a flat sheet. This is called the jumbo pack. Jumbo pack, this guy measures about 12 inches going this way. So make sure, yep. And then going this way, it's almost 20 inches. So it's like 12 by 20, not quite. So what it is, I cut strips going to full 12 inches, and that's what we're using for the stems. And then for all the other parts, I've cut them down to different sizes. And the colors that we have, there's reds. I mean, you could easily do this in a red. I just picked pretty soft colors. I didn't go big bright. So the first thing you want to do is you take from the big section, the green, you want to take a 12 by 2 inch section and something that you can roll with. Now I have a little trick that I've put together because my glue is starting to kind of get a lot of air in it and I'm tired of waiting on it. I'm just taking an old spool, and I actually still have some thread on here, and I'm putting my glue upside down in it. And because it's plastic on the inside, I'm actually going to keep this thing open. I'm going to clean off my tip real fast, and I'm just using Beacon 3-in-1 glue and holding it upside down so it's ready to go. The first step you're going to do is you're going to take with your 2 by, this is 12, yeah, it's probably closer to 10 actually. So a 2 by 10, you can go up to 12, you could do it shorter. The longer this is, the longer your stem is going to be, because this is what we're going to roll up for our stem. I'm just using one of my thinnest paint brushes to roll this on and just to give me some guidance. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start rolling, just like you see here, and it kind of grabs itself. And then periodically I want to go in with my glue. I need to get this kind of started here. I'm just going to go in with my glue and add a little bit of glue right here. And I'm going to go ahead and finish it down the line here, just to add a little bit of something for it to grab to. It will stay in its form, but I want it to be a tight fit. So I want it to be nice and stiff as I'm rolling it up. And this paper will hold its form, as you can see when they're curled with the flowers. So just roll it up on itself, pretty, and try and give yourself as much length as you possibly can. And if you did it like me and did not do that, now you can go in and tweak it and kind of pull it out a little bit. So I've made a very short stem. And that's fine. Sometimes you want different lengths of flowers. So this is going to be a shorter flower in our vase, which is cool. You don't always need super long ones. And then I'm going to add a tiny bit of glue right here on the end here, just to make sure, and I did not do a good job. I'm going to put this back in here. Whoops. There we go. This is just to keep my glue nice and steady. And when I'm done, because I'm using it so much, I want to make sure it's nice and ready for me. All right, so there's this. Now I'm going to put that off to the side. The next step is, if you wanted to go longer, this is about 9 inches. If you wanted to go longer than 9 inches, by all means, go for it. There is no reason why you shouldn't. Sorry about the pliers. I had it out for, I don't know why. If you want to go 10 inches, basically, it's as long as you want your flower part to be. So if you want your flower part to be longer, make your strip longer. So you could go this way if you wanted to. If you want your flower part to be shorter, shorten it up. I would say the minimum would be about 7 inches. Mine is about 8 to 9. And you want to again cut it at the 2-inch markers. So now I'm at my paper trimmer and I'm going to cut 2 inches off my foil going lengthwise. So now I've got roughly about 9 inches by 2 inches. And I'm sorry about the focus. I think it's having a hard time with the white. Maybe I should get my mat back out so this has an easier time focusing. I think for some reason my camera has a hard time focusing when it looks like it's on the whiteboard. So we're going to switch back to my craft mat here. I usually have my craft mat out only when I'm doing anything that's kind of messy with lots of paints and stuff. But I think I'm going to have to keep it out for focusing purposes from now on, which is fine. Okay, so I'm going to come back to what the little guys are here in a minute. Now that I've got my 2-inch marker, I then need to mark, and this is where you need a pencil. I'm going to mark where I have about 1/4 inch. So I'm just using, on my cutting board, I have a ton of little measurements already on here. And they're all for the 1/4 inches, and I use them all the time because they really are a nice guide. Now what I'm doing is, because I made a mark on both ends of my paper, I'm just going to take my ruler and connect the dots. Simple as that. And basically, I can keep my, why don't I just do it on this side? Basically what I'm doing is I'm making a mark on one end that has 1/4 inch, and this is to where to stop cutting to line, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. First though is we have to put marks on here about where we're going to cut. So you want to cut about every 1/4 inch. That's why I love these little grids. So I'm just going through here and I'm making a mark on my mat or my cutting board. Every time there's a line, it's 1/4 inch, and I'm just putting a little hash right here on my paper, exactly where that is. Move it over, readjust it, and this is just my guide for cutting. Move it, shift it down, continue to make marks going all the way down. There it is. So I've got little marks going all the way down. So the reason for the line down here is that tells me where to stop cutting. Otherwise, I'd be kind of iffy going all the way. And I'm going to take my scissors and just cut until I hit that line. So you want to leave 1/4 inch at the end. And if you're not perfect, don't worry about it. Even if these little cut marks are not perfect, don't worry about it. It's a guide more than anything. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and cut all the way down the line. All right, so that looks like you had a bunch of fringe. I did the exact same thing on this pink one, and I'm going to go ahead and cut down the line on the pink one as well. All right, so this is the pink version, as you can see here. That's got the gold on the back, and then this is the gold on the gold. Same concept, same length, same process to do both. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take each one of these and go back to your same little brush that you had. You could also use a knitting needle. You could use a wooden skewer, but you know, I have paint brushes sitting right here on my desk, and it was about the right length and width that I wanted to make my little curls. So I'm going to flip it over this way, and here's the deal. If you want the pink to show, then you're going to need to turn it so that you're flipping it for the pink to face towards you, just like that. See? If I faced it this way and I turned it, then the gold is going to show and the pink is going to hide. And the only pink you're going to see is as it's getting wrapped around. So if you take a look at the gold, you see how you can see the pink on the, or the gold, sorry, you can see the purple on the rolls, and the gold is kind of hiding as the stem. And that's what we want. I don't want to see the pink as the stem and the gold. Yeah, if you want to do that, fine. I personally want to see the pink on the rolled part. So that's why I'm facing the gold towards me and rolling the pink in and down. So all I'm doing is I'm taking my skewer, and it takes a couple of times to kind of get used to the feeling, and I'm taking it and I'm rolling the paper around my my paintbrush, and then just rolling it in, and the paper loves to stay in its shape. It's a beauty thing about this paper is it loves to stay in its rolled shape, which is really fun. So just keep on rolling it down all the way. I got to the point where I was good enough and I could do two at the same time, and I could kind of take it, and I was doing 2 rolls as I was rolling down just to kind of speed it up. I could also figure out how I could roll. I got to where I could do 2 rolls this way and just kind of sped up. And they don't need to be perfect. Flowers, that's the beautiful thing about making flowers, is they are the most imperfect things out there in so many ways. Their petals are torn. They're none of their petals are identical. So the more symmetrical you make your flower, the more fake it looks in a way. So the more you kind of make it look a little different, and how your little curls are not all the same width, and some of them are tighter and some of them are looser, the better your flower is going to be. As weird as it is, it's the way that our eyes see nature and what it represents. So I'm going to continue rolling this guy and this one all the way down and speed it up. All right, so now that the rolling is done, and this is, I want to say, probably the longest part of making this whole process. This is the most tedious, which I think is 9 inches is about as much as I would want to do on one roll. It gets to be a bit much. Now you've got your stems, and you can make your stems here. We've got 2 different lengths. You can make them longer or shorter just by how much you're twisting it up. This one's twisted a bit more, therefore it's a little shorter. You are going to take and pick what end you want to have to be the top. And go ahead and take your glue and put a little bit of glue right here at the top. And I like a good all-purpose sticky glue. This is what I would call a tacky glue. It's Beacon 3-in-1. It's got a very fast grab. If you used a white glue, it's gonna slip and slide on you. Heat guns, I burn my fingers. So that's why I love this glue in so many ways. So take the top and notice how it's kind of rolling. You want to have it so it's rolling outwards, not this way, but out, away from the stem. And go as far to the top as possible to try and hide your stem. And this is why I like the fast grab glue, because it's going to go ahead and grab it. It's on there. It's not coming off. And then you want to add a little bit more glue going down, and you are just going to continue to wind your flower going down the stem, going around and around. Be careful not to leave a gap showing the green. You only want to see the color of the flower. That's the key thing here. So don't make too big of a gap to where you see green, like right here. You want to, I don't know if you can see that right there. See how there's a little gap of green in there? You don't want that. You want to see only gold. So the whole way down, it's just whatever color it is that you have of the paper. If you end up getting a little bit of a gap, don't smash your paper, like I just did. Then just kind of shift it up, pull it off, and reshift. This glue is very forgivable in so many ways, so just kind of keep that in mind. Just kind of roll. See, I'm just rolling it in. I'm kind of holding the paper and then rolling it with my fingertips. So that's pretty easy. And there you go. Simple as that. If you got a little bit of green in there, you can kind of go in and tuck. Oops. Not to bend your stem. And there it is. And you can kind of shift it a little bit, and voila, you've got the beginning of your flower. So here we go. Now we got to make the petals that are coming off of it, and this is so simple. This is a 3 by 3 inch square of the same paper with the gold on the inside, the green on the outside, and all you're going to do is accordion. So you're going to accordion going this way, and then flip it over and accordion going back. And you want to accordion it about 1/4 of an inch. And again, this one, because plants are so asymmetrical and different, it does not matter that it's not perfect. I think the more imperfect it is, the better. Keep accordioning it going all the way down. It's about the easiest little leaves you're ever going to make. Accordion, accordion, accordion all the way down until you're all the way at the end. Again, don't worry about if it's a little bit off. No big deal. This may not be for the imperfectionist in there. So now that you've got your accordion, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut. Leave about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom and then cut at an angle, going all the way up. And keep, this is why I had some other one, keep these little guys because they're going to be your fillers here in a minute. Open this up. And now you have your leaves. And I love the fact that there's a seam because leaves have stems, seams on the inside. It's where their stems are. It's their water source. So now you're going to lay it. If you want to do gold out, you can, but I like the green showing green. Give yourself a little bit of a gap here and run your glue kind of going around. and then go ahead and start layering in. And be very gentle. This paper is a little bit fragile to a point, especially if you try and turn it into kind of a tight space. Like we're making something that's a little bit thicker go around something that's a little bit thinner, and we're trying to make things, you know, stick out and do something different. So just be gentle with it. You don't want to be too harsh. Any paper will rip if you try and force it to do something that it's kind of fighting against. And it's just because the way we cut the stems or the leaves on here. So just roll it around. I keep adding some glue. And then you want to shape your stems and kind of come in. And again, see, it's wanting to fold down because the way we trimmed it. So just kind of play with it. And then you can kind of angle it and play with the paper. And this is the beauty of this paper, is it's going to kind of hold the shape that you form it in. So you want it to kind of curve out. You want it to stick straight up. It'll stick straight up. Just like that, see? You want it to bend and curve, you want it to come all the way down, it'll come all the way down. It's going to keep whatever shape you have it. Now, this is where these little extra guys are going to come in handy. There's a gap here in my mind where I need to have another little stem, another little leaf. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of glue, plus I want to kind of cover up this little bit of a space where the paper pulled apart. And I'm going to take one of my extras, and your extras are double length stems like you see here, and then there are some singles. Well, I think most of them are doubles. You might get a single every now and then. And pick your favorite leaf. These are all leaves at this point. So just pull them apart and decide which one you want to have where. I like this guy. And I'm just going to glue it right where I had my glue and add it to the fray. I think I want to put another one right here, kind of coming out. So save the little pieces you cut out. And I'm going to put this guy on here. And if you want to play and all of a sudden you have a color that's going the other direction, have at it. There's nothing to see. There's no right or wrong to this. Very, very easy. And there it is. Beautiful little flower. Add to the collection. Look at that. Gorgeous. So pretty. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up my other pink one on this stem. Same process I've done before. Add my glue to here, but I'm going to speed it up this time. So here we go. Our pretty little vase of gorgeous little flowers here. The hyacinths is the best way to describe them. We have something kind of similar here in Texas. It's called a blue bonnet, and it looks very similar to the blue one. It's different shades of blue. So I'm going to play with that one day and have some fun playing with different shades of blue. This is just 5, but you could easily do a whole bouquet, have some tall ones, and just kind of play with it. So thanks so much for stopping by and looking at my beautiful flowers made with the Rinea foils, and hope you come back soon. Bye-bye.